Following the Ford news cycle right now is an absolute roller coaster ride. Just last week, they were in Detroit celebrating the introduction of the new generation Mustang and, of course, the Dark Horse. And today, the stock plummeted more than it has in a given day in 10 plus years. It dropped over 12% today, wiping out a ton of money from the market. The rest of the market was pretty average. It wasn't like everything else was dropping like flies. It was pretty much just Ford. And it's because they came out and basically, for some reason, pre-announced that there is some problems with the third quarter numbers. They basically, I think it was their way of just kind of telling investors before the news really hit and broke a lot of hearts, basically saying that, in a nutshell, because vendors are now charging more for certain parts and just everything that it takes to make these cars, they incurred over $1 billion of added expense that they were not expecting to come across. So this raises a bunch of kind of red flags and concerns, in my opinion, because everybody's mind immediately jumps to, oh, well, we're still dealing with COVID supply chain issues, we're still dealing with inflation. Okay, but other auto manufacturers have said that's not a big deal. Mary Barra from GM just came out the other day and said that stuff is easing. It's not really affecting them right now. In fact, it's becoming easier. So I'm going to take a little bit of a calculated and a little bit of an intelligent shot in the dark here. If you guys have maybe heard of a company called BYD, if you haven't, look it up. It's a Chinese auto manufacturer, and they have been becoming massive. I mean, just gaining like hundreds and hundreds of percent, literally monthly, for the last year or so here. And they are also the company that's in charge of building the batteries for Ford's Mach-E's and Ford's Lightnings. So if you've been watching the Ford news cycle, you've been seeing that they're constantly increasing the price on these Lightnings and the Mach-E's, not just the dealer stuff that we're talking about here, not dealer markups. I'm talking about Ford actually saying, we need more money for these, we need more money for these, we need more money for these. They go up like $2,000 a month, it seems like. Well, that's part of it. But on top of that, BYD's largest investor, who is Warren Buffett, has been talking about pulling out of BYD for a while now, which is kind of send them scrambling, because without his money, they can't do nearly the things that they were able to do with it. So I think there's a lot more to this story. I think it's definitely something worth looking into, both companies, to kind of see what happens here, because I do think they're going to kind of go hand in hand. I hope Ford makes it out of this.